Hey, everyone. It's Dr. Tamara Beckford with Your Caring Docs. That's right, where we bring you all this health, wellness information so that you can feel informed and you can be empowered and take an active role in your health. Now, we have the Your Caring Docs Who Cares segment where we have doctors from all over the world. They stop by, drop a lot of gems about health and wellness. But the best part is that they leave all their info here so you can know how to get in contact with them if you'd like to be a patient or a client of theirs. Today, I am super amped because I'm bringing on someone who's going to talk to us about some stuff that's going on out there in nutrition. And I know some of you guys want to hear this. We're going to ask all the questions, right? So let me just give you a little bit of tidbit on our superstar who's coming on today. Alrighty. So this doctor went to med school at the University of Louisville in Louisville, Kentucky. Hey, all our Louisville people. Hey. Yes, shout out to you guys. She did her residency at St. Vincent's Hospital in Indianapolis, Indiana. All our Indianapolis people. Yep. Y'all too. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, she is a practicing internal medicine physician, but she has a deep passion for ensuring that everyone has a chance to add a healthy and happy life. And because of that, she's going to be coming on and talking about plant-based nutrition. Everybody give a warm welcome to Dr. Amanda Adkins. Woo! Yes, Dr. Adkins, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for coming on, because when we hear plant-based, we're all like, woo. But you have this passion for it. And you're like, I'm going to help you guys live a healthy and a happy life. Where did this passion come from? Come on, tell us. Where did this come from?
It came from myself, actually, when I was a teenager. I was very overweight, and I actually had to get on the scale in gym class one day, and I saw the numbers 199 show up, and I freaked me out. Like, as a 14-year-old, you're like, you shouldn't weigh that much. So I got on this health kick journey from that point on. So I started exercising, doing what I needed to do to try to lose weight. And so I lost some weight, gained it back, lost some weight. But as I went through med school and residency, and then, as you know, as physicians, we have to go through continual medical education classes. And I actually found a nutrition class that was in Arizona in the spa. So I was like, I'm going to go to this. And there was a speaker there, right? Spa, everything, that actually said, you cannot out exercise a bad diet. And that triggered in my mind, because all I heard growing up and throughout school was, calories in, calories out. Whatever you eat, you can burn it off. But he gave a different perspective to that. And I'm like, okay, so now I have to figure out what a good diet is. And I actually learned that plant-based nutrition is a very healthy diet for people to actually lose weight, keep it off, and try to prevent chronic diseases, because that's all in my family history: high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, heart disease, everything that we usually see in the Black community. And I was like, I don't want that to be me, seeing my grandparents go through so much. And so I adopted this plant-based nutrition lifestyle. And so many people want to know, well, how can I be healthy? And I don't want to be on all these medicines. I don't want to be sick all the time. So I was like, hey, I have something for you. Do you want to try it? And so usually they're like, what is that? You mean I can't eat meat?
Exactly. Question. I mean, you introduce, and you're like, hey, and you're so enthusiastic. Dr. Adkins is like, hey, we're going to introduce plant-based diet. And instead of when I think of plant-based, I think it's going to taste like paper. Are you trying to tell me eat paper?
I know. That's most people are like, so you eat food that has no flavor, right? And I'm like, absolutely not. No, that is not the case. There are so many different herbs and spices that you can add to different vegetables and food and put certain things together that you can actually make things taste flavorful. Because at first I thought the same thing. I'm not gonna lie. So I tell people all the time, I would just eat stuff. My sister would even say, "Oh, you hardcore," because they would just like eat plain spinach and just go. Because I was like, I'm just trying to get healthy. I just try to get healthy. I don't care what it tastes like. And then I was like, I got tired of eating food that tastes bland. So I was like, okay, let's add these different spices. You know, garlic and onions are my go-to, peppers, things like that. You add that in, turmeric, cumin. I mean, so many different things you can add in to make the food taste so much better. And then it makes you feel better because it tastes good and it's good for you.
Right. It's like a double whammy. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Wow. So now, you're telling us about like, oh, I'm adding all of this and I'm adding all of these flavors. What are these folks? They're like, I'm not that much of a cook. I'm not a chef. I'm not chefing it up inside the kitchen. Like, what kind of advice do we have to those people?
Right. I am not a cook either. I look for the simplest things to do. And initially what I had to do was grab some, vegan cookbooks and look at what other dietitians and nutritionists were putting together. And I would follow their recipes initially. It's like, okay, to the T, this is what I'll do. So I'm like, well, that wasn't really what I wanted it to taste like. So I would grab a different spice and try to put it in. And then you just make it to your taste buds and do something simple for yourself. So I tell people, you don't have to make, a gourmet meal where you have to have all these different utensils and all these different spices.
6 courses.
Oh no. We don't have time for that. I'm a physician, a mom, a wife, we got to get things going and, get it done quickly. So I usually just tell people, take a few recipes, see what you can do, and then turn it into your own taste. So, and then you have a few go-tos. So when you are really on the go and you're like, okay, I know I can throw this together. And sometimes even with people, when they have a favorite meat-based recipe, they can actually just substitute in a few plant-based items. So therefore, you don't have to come up with something totally new. So like my stepfather has this famous spaghetti that he makes. And I've been, vegetarian forever. And I just assumed that it was always vegetarian. He was like, no, I adjusted that for you. And I was like, oh, well, that was wonderful. Like, it was great. So you can do so many different things to make food healthy for you and it tastes good.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So do you have any particular recipes that you like? What are some of your go-to?
So my go-to, something that's simple, is making just chickpeas, baked sweet potato, and kale. So if I don't have time, then that's the simplest thing I can do. Because like I said, I'm not a very good cook. I just don't put things together. So I make separate little things. So the chickpeas are just in some vegetable broth with cumin, put it on the stove. My baked sweet potato, I just, wrap it up into a aluminum foil, put it in the oven for 45 minutes, open it up, put some cinnamon on there, tastes great. And then make kale just like you make greens, but without adding in the ham hock that most people add in. And then also with people, when you're starting to make your own foods and get rid of those processed foods and your animal-based products, that your taste buds change and you actually start to taste that natural flavor from the foods. Because most people like things taste bland, and that's because you've been eating food that has so much salt and so much sugar in there that you don't get that natural taste of the food. And once you do that, like most people think sweet potatoes, you have to add in extra stuff, but the sweet potato actually is sweet on its own if you just have those taste buds for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, all of this is really good because as you talked about, like your journey and your story into this is that you were at a point in your life, you were a teenager and you're like, whoa, I need to change this. I want to, improve on my health. And even to just have that whereabout at such an early age is very it's phenomenal. But now you're a doctor and I'm pretty sure you have your patients who are saying the same thing, like, doc, I want some change and, I want an improvement in my health. What are some of the things that you're telling your patients about this plant-based in order to help them lose weight?
Yes. So a lot of them, when I first say plant-based, they just kind of pause.
Is this the look you get?
Yeah. Okay. And I was like, it sounds like, okay, well, tell me what you eat and then we'll, try to adjust. So I tell them, I'm not telling you have to get rid of every single meat item ever right now, but we want to take things step by step. So the first thing I say is add in fruits and vegetables to every single meal, okay? And make those the highlight of your meal instead of the meats, okay? Cut back on the meat portions. And then most of them are open to that.
Absolutely.
But when I usually hear people and really push plant-based, and when they say, doc, I see that you want me on all these medicines and I'm not going to take it because I got this big old long sheet from the pharmacist that says it's going to cause all these side effects. And I said, you're right. It will cause all those side effects. But, if you actually had that bacon and actually took it to the pharmacy and they had to print out all the things that it would cause too, you would get that same long sheet of paper that will cause all these side effects. And they're like, you're right. Okay.
That is real talk. That's not true. I've never used that. I was idea.
Yes. So I throw it back at him. I was like, I don't like to just prescribe you these medications either, but you have to do your part. And we can work together. And each time you come in, we can, take it step by step to see what else we can change in your lifestyle to help you become healthier, to where I don't have to write out all these prescriptions for you. I'll be more than happy to do that. They're usually open to it.
That works. Wow. And you do it a step at a time. So you've seen the success in your patients with them. And I know a lot of patients are like you said, I don't want to be on all these meds. Mm-hmm. And once you introduce them, you start seeing them, you being able to get off, right? Because we know that's one of our things that we hear from a lot of patients. I don't like taking all these meds.
Yes.
Hey, Dr. Adkins has a way. She's introducing plant-based diet. And the thing, she's not forcing you. She's not like, okay, let's empty out your refrigerator or your freezer. She said, start highlighting some of the vegetables, highlighting some of the fruits as the highlight of your meal versus the meat. I'm going to have to try to incorporate that myself because I'm not going to lie. The meat is the highlight of my meal. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to work on it. And
that's all we ask.
Wow. So this is a way, in order for those who are listening and you're like, I don't know, I want to take all these meds. Hey, one step at a time, a small introduction of some vegetables and some fruits and a slow change, you can transition over to the plant-based diet. What are some of the benefits, like you're saying too, with the plant-based diet? Weight loss is a big benefit.
Weight loss, yes. Blood pressure control. So we have a lot of African Americans that are uncontrolled with their blood pressure. I have some that's on like 4 and 5 medications for blood pressure. And I was like, if we can just change a little bit of your diet, we can cut back on these medicines. Mm-hmm. Diabetes, it can prevent diabetes or even get people off insulin. There's been some studies that shows it actually reverses diabetes in some patients. So that's an even more significant thing for people to realize, and actually can cut out their medication and adopt a plant-based diet. It actually can reduce your risk for certain types of cancer. So like breast cancer and prostate cancer and some even colorectal cancers. Mm-hmm. So it's just so many things. Chronic pain. Like I have a lot of people that have pain, inflammation in your joints. Like your joints will feel so much better on the plant-based diet. Like it's so many benefits that, we can't, trying to think of them all off the top of my head real quick and just run through them. It's just so many. What else? Well, during COVID, I usually emphasize people before we had the vaccine, like this is where I really wanted to actually promote because it actually increases your own immune system. Mm-hmm. And before we had treatments, I was like, this is why you want your body to be the healthiest that it can be, mm-hmm. because you never know what it may come in contact with. And so you don't want that inflammation and those chronic illnesses in your body going into these things, because then it actually increases your risk for having long-term significant issues, like ending up in the hospital or being disabled from them. So it really like struck with people's core. Certain people that are open, they're like, I hear you now, doc. I want to do what I can, And some people, you still, you'll eat meat every now and then. I tell them that's okay. Right. You want to just focus on doing the best that you can, because if you try to make too significant of change in a short period of time, it's not going to last long term for some people. So some you just kind of, take it step by step and know that every day is a new day. You can actually add in more and more as you, go each day. And give yourself some grace. I tell people that all the time. Grace is okay. That's the best thing that we all have. And just keep going. That's all.
Wow. And you've seen so much changes in your patients who have taken just a little step at a time and reducing their pill burden.
Yes.
And also, being healthier and feeling better, feeling more active, and having decrease in the chronic pain and the joints and so on. And this is not only about like weight loss. Weight loss is just a benefit.
Right.
But everything else is so important in the changes that it occurs within that body. Wow.
Yes. Yes.
All right. You've dropped a lot of gems today. A lot of gems. I mean, Dr. Adkins is out here telling us about plant-based diet and letting us know it's not all paper. It doesn't taste like paper. She's like, and for those of you guys who are like, I can't chef it up, I'm not that great in the kitchen. She's like, don't worry. Just take a little bit of time, use somebody else's recipe, but tailor it to your liking. Add your spices, the spices that you like. Make it flavorful for you. Right. Yes. So now that we've pulled all of this info out of Dr. Adkins, I got a question for her. So now we know this doctor that's talking about all this plant-based stuff. However, if you were not a doctor, what would you be?
Actually, I am a big math nerd. So I would have loved to be a math teacher or a CPA or something to where I just crunch numbers all day. Like I even have budgets and spreadsheets. Yeah.
Kilocalories. She's going to tell you all about the kilocalories in that plant-based diet. Let me tell you, multiply that by what? Okay, Dr. Adkins.
Yes. I love math. So that would have been my other career if I did not experience health and medicine.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I love it. I love hearing these answers because they're so different for all of our doctors. And I think it's also great for all of those who are listening to these podcasts to know that, hey, we have different variety of people. We all love different things. And we also have some hidden talents, right? Go ahead and put her in the math whiz. I have her on my team. All right, Dr. Adkins. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So now that we've all pulled out this info, can you please let us know where can we find you on social media?
Yes, I am on Facebook and Instagram at Dr. Amanda Adkins, and it's spelled Adkins. A lot of people get that confused with the Atkins diet, and I'm totally opposite of that. But yes, AD as in dog, KINS, Facebook and Instagram. So please follow me there.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I'm pretty sure Dr. Adkins will also have some great programs that she's going to have out for you guys. So check out her website, check out her IG, I should say, and her Facebook. And whenever she has her programs out and you guys want to enter into a nice plant-based course or program or get some great healthy recipe or even see some of the beautiful food that she's posted. She's like, hey, I got an inspiration from this particular plant-based nutritionist or even another chef. And she's doing it up. She has some beautiful pictures and beautiful colors. So don't get fooled. Like she says that she's not chefing it up, but these things come out looking beautiful. So I've seen all her pictures. All righty. And she's not calculating math on it, right? So you don't have
I'm not.
This. You can do this without being a math whiz also. All righty, Dr. Adkins, I really, really appreciate you stopping by. I want everyone to know this beautiful, beautiful doctor who has a beautiful soul here and is also helping us get onto the plant-based diet and lifestyle. Her info, it'll be available here on our Your Caring Docs website. That's www.yourcaringdocs, URCARINGDOCS. And you'll have this podcast available for wherever you do listen to podcasts on our Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Resprout, and Spotify and all over the place, and also on Google. And if you do like this, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and let Dr. Adkins know what you thought about her interview. And I would love if you guys want to see this video, it'll be available on our YouTube channel. That's Your Caring Docs, URCARINGDOCS. And we got our Instagram, we have our Facebook, we're ticking and talking away, Twitter, and on LinkedIn. So I'm Dr. Tamara Beckford with Your Caring Docs. Thank you guys for stopping by, and we will see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.